Yo, this is your boy Vashan, aka VG07TV, and I just have a message right now to the black community about politics, man. So, this is the thing, man. We kind of all understand that everything is crazy right now, especially in regards to politics. Like, it's so much going on, and for the first time in our lives, we're hearing so much about Donald Trump and everything he's got going on, and all of this crazy stuff in the media right now. But what I want to do is I want to get us to take a look at the overall politics in the black community and just kind of start kind of trying to piece this picture together a little bit so we can have a better understanding, not just for ourselves, but also for the future of the black community, because it's on us, it's on this generation and ourselves to teach our kids and forthcoming generations, what's going on in the world of politics, rather than just vote for the Democrats because you're black. And because Democrats help black people, and see, the thing is, man, I really, have to completely disagree with them there, because, I come from a Democratic family. I was a Democrat up until last year, and and what happened is I actually started to do some research into politics. And when I started doing this research and I started putting two and two together, oh man, oh man. It almost makes you want to believe that 2 plus 2 isn't 4 anymore. It's 22. It's a whole different narrative in the world than what we've been told, and especially when it comes to politics and black people. So I do have some pretty decent statistics that we may want to that first and foremost, before I even really get into this, the first thing I will say to this is, you can listen to me all you want, but do your own research. It never hurts to go back and fact check. And I'm not talking about, don't go look at CNN, you have to dig deep, man. You have to dig deep. Man, I'm doing what I call the 10% rule, man. I'm gonna lay 10% of it on you now, and then we're gonna do 10% more every video. Because if I got into everything right now, it gets so crazy that you guys would lose track and wouldn't want to follow me, and the video would be way too long. But it goes very, very deep, and that's on a lot of different aspects as far as politics goes in the makeup of the black community. So the first thing I want to get into is this. And this was kind of one of the telltale signs of me. I made a video on Periscope about why I support Donald Trump. And this was a statement by Donald Trump that really made me get on board what he was saying. And this is his quote. He said, "What do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs." And I started listening to what this guy was saying. And, a lot of people were offended by it. Me, I was like, I'm listening. You got my attention. You're right, because we living in poverty. I'm still living in poverty. Listen, I actually quit a high-paying job once I started getting into all of this stuff, man. And it was just a personal choice that I made, and I just couldn't work for that big corporation. I couldn't do the big corporation anymore. It wasn't for me, man. And I wasn't happy, man. I was 29-year-old, high blood pressure. That should tell you enough. And I'm a lifelong athlete too. Shouldn't happen. But anyway, so that's what really caught my attention. And then, I started going back and I started looking at it, and one of the things I always tell people about, I just finished texting this young lady about this a few minutes ago, explaining to her about Malcolm X. Malcolm X warned us about liberals. See, when Malcolm X was following the Nation of Islam, of course they saw him as a threat, but they didn't kill him. What got Malcolm X killed is he started telling blacks to be conservatives. That's what got Malcolm X killed. He told us to beware of the liberals because they were like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And what they would do is they make us think they're our friend, and they screw us over. And that's continuously what the Democratic Party has done to us. And Lyndon B. Johnson my dad was around in Lyndon B. Johnson days. He still got stories about Lyndon B. Johnson. Maybe I can get him on video to have him tell y'all some of those stories. But around the 60s, all right, I'll tell a little bit of the story. So around the 60s, around the mid-60s, 63, 64, there were some huge riots in LA. And what happened with these riots, they would call them race riots. They really weren't race riots. What ended up happening is, all right, so back then, black men in particular used to have the manufacturing jobs. And what they did is all of these manufacturing companies, major companies, picked up and moved their manufacturing plants outside of the U.S. or to other places outside of L.A. to put those men out of work. And what they did is they brought in technology jobs that these black men at the time weren't afforded an education to be able to have. Now, when I say they, it's really pretty much the Democratic Party. But and this is the thing, like I said, do the research yourself. Don't take anything I'm saying as facts. Do all your own research. You know, you can listen to me if you want to, but do your own research. I'm encouraging you to do so. But they put in these technology jobs, and what they did is now you have a lot of black men that can't take care of their families on the streets, not working. So what they did is they gave them drugs, whatever. You got gangs started, things like that. You know, and these are just things that they do within the black community to create the necessary strife they needed to create. And what that did when they took those men out of work is it forced us to have it forced the women and the families to have a dependency on the government, on the Democratic Party through welfare. Now, what I want you to go look up is what's called the Cloward-Piven strategy. And it's where you overload the welfare system that's supposed to take care of some people, and you get so many people on there that it can't take care of anybody, and it actually drags down the nation as a whole. So, see, what I always hear from my liberal friends is they say, well, what have Republicans done for black people? I tell people, for one thing, it's not about Democrat or Republican, because they actually unified parties back in the mid-'60s. So you have a lot of the Democrats and Republicans that are kind of all from the same leaf. Going back to George H.W. Bush, we've all been ran by pretty much the same regime until Trump. If you do, like I said, if you just look at the media now, you'll see Obama, the Bushes, the Clintons. You'll see them all hanging out together, and that's never supposed to happen. Where you're talking about something as significant as, you know, former presidents of opposing parties with supposedly opposing views. You know, they're not supposed to be doing the things, hanging out buddy the way that they are, because these views are so different. So, but starting with that welfare system they created. So I want to go back to this too. So right now, and I'll rewind a little bit, but right now, let's look at right now. The top 10 cities with over 100,000 population in violent crimes, 8 of them are ran by Democrats, 2 independent. Flint, Michigan. We all know about Flint, Michigan. Democrat, 84 years. They had a Democratic mayor for 84 years. Detroit, Democratic mayor, 60 years. Chicago, Democratic mayor, 90 years. St. Louis, 68 years. Baltimore, 40 years. Oakland, 40 years. Whew. Are you starting to get the picture here? See, and it's not that these cities are terrible cities, but what I'm trying to tell you is the poverty rates are very high in these cities. Violence very high in these cities. You know, and it's because, you know, that is one of the biggest, the Democratic Party, they need control over the black people. They do it by manipulation, identity politics. They want us to think that they tell us the Republicans are racist to really hide what they do to us. You know, and it's sad. It's sad to see it. It's sad that it works. We have to break out of that old way of thinking. Like I said, man, Newark, New Jersey voted as the least, the place that people most likely not want to live. They've been Democratic ran for over 100 years. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's not really about Democrats or Republicans. But the thing is, see, the reason why I keep using the term Democrats, well, I want to get you to get, because we vote Democratic just simply based on the fact that this person is a Democrat. And see, like I said about identity politics, we vote for people who look like us. We vote with people who look like us. All of that plays a part in identity politics. Why do you think they let Obama be president? It wasn't about changing things for black people. Because if you look, I tell people this all the time. If you go into any hood, the 8 years before Obama and 8 years after, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be worse, not better, worse. You know, and this is not an attempt to shame gay people or anything like that. But Obama was able to get a lot passed for gays, but nothing for black people. Why is that? You know, we say it's because the Republican the Congress was against them. You know, blah blah. Listen, they were all working together. It don't matter. Like I said, the party affiliation does not matter. You know, like I said, and we could fast forward to Trump. Why do you think he's having such a hard time? It's not because if he's got a majority Republicans in the Congress, majority Republicans in the Senate, and he's still having a hard time getting things passed. Why? Because it's not about party, and neither is Trump, and they know that. So that's why it's they do a lot to keep him kind of shackled up. But we've got to get out of that identity politics game, man. We got to get out of that. We got to see past the skin color, and until we're able to do that as a community and as a people, man, we won't be able to evolve and get to our next level, man. Like, we are the thing I like about the Republicans, even if they didn't like us, even if they were racist and they hated us, the thing that I like about the Republicans is they would say, you know what? Or not the Republicans, the conservatives. Let me change my terminology on that. The conservatives is they'll leave us alone. They'll let us try to do it our own way, even if they didn't want to help us. They rather, trust us to do it ourselves, And I take that over the people who always, because the Democratic Party, they always got their hands somewhere around black people. They always want to keep us around that Democratic Party. During election time, I got zero things on my door, zero mailers, zero phone calls telling me to go vote for Donald Trump. But do you know how many I got telling me to go vote for Hillary Clinton? Hanging on my door, got mailed a few times, calls from Obama, calls from everybody. Never seen nothing like it. And the thing about it is, we don't even think twice about it. We just don't even think twice about it. We just think that this is what we're supposed to do. Hillary Clinton loves black people. After she called us super predators, loves black people. After, she is... I got to do... Planned Parenthood is a whole nother video, which... Research Planned Parenthood. Every black person in America should research Planned Parenthood, why it was started, and why you should be pro-life. Research that, and you'll get a lot of insight there. Abortion is the #1 killer of black Americans, if you really wanted to know. So yeah, I'm very strongly pro-life. Yes, I was different in the past. I had different beliefs in the past, but I'm strongly pro-life now. You better believe that. I've had my awakening and learned quite a bit. I want to keep the video kind of short and sweet. I know we're about 12 minutes into it, but I want to keep the video a little short and sweet. Like I said, please, if you have comments, questions, I know people are going to say I'm an Uncle Tom, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever. Look, fine, whatever. It is what it is. You can have whatever belief you want to have. But all I know is I've done the research. I see it, man. And if you start looking for yourself, you'll start to see these things for yourself, man. The #1 thing the Democratic Party would hate is for black people to get from under their grip and think for themselves. If you do that, if you do the research and you still want to vote Democratic, cool, by all means. But at least do the research. At least give yourself that much credit to go and look this stuff up, man, and to be informed and make your own decisions. Because I don't follow any mainstream media, no mainstream news media, none of it. I don't care for any of it. And see, a lot of people, they'll say, "Oh, you watch Fox News." No, I don't watch Fox News. I can't stand Fox News, and it's because they lie too. They're all owned by the same people. Look, all of these news sources, they'll make you think what they want you to believe, regardless of which side it's on. And even Fox News, like I said, they even give Trump very little credit for some of the things he's accomplishing. Which, like I said, man, check out that Periscope about why I support Donald Trump, man. I can give you Donald Trump facts all day, but seriously, hey, black folks, look, man. We need to wake up, man. If we ever want to fix our communities, if we ever want to really see the change we've been wanting to see, man, if we want it to be a better world for our kids, we really need to start doing some research, man. This stuff is important. We always kind of look at politics like this don't really affect us. But when I started doing the research and I saw how politics is in every aspect of our life, whether it be spiritual, physical, financial, etc., politics play a role. So that's why it's important. And see, and I like to bring up the Black Panthers, and I like to talk about them in politics. I know I said I was wrapping up like 2 minutes ago. I'm sorry. I get to talk about this stuff. I could literally make a 50-hour video probably just talking, rambling. But the Black Panthers, a lot of people talk about them in a negative light. But the reason they were so powerful is because they united people of all races, all colors, and they had a very specific message. It was us against the powers that be, not black versus white. They didn't have a qualm with white people. It was us versus the powers that be. And now, in today's age, We need that right now. We need to all come together and we need to band against the powers that be, because that's really who's been holding all of us back. Not black people, not white people, the whole nine. And when you start doing your own research and you start to learn about these powers that be, and you start to learn about some things they did, you start to learn about COINTELPRO, you start to learn about Operation Mockingbird, you start to learn about some of the different things that have happened and transgressed throughout the time we've been alive, man. Sometimes I really think I should have been born. I should have been alive. I should have been around in the '60s, man. I just think that time frame fits my mindset better, because I would have been right there. I'd been right there with these folks, marching, stepping, and ready to fight, ready to die for what I believe versus the machine. You know, so that's listen. I'm telling you, I'm willing to die about my beliefs and what I feel and what I believe. As far as the freedoms of this country, man, we don't live to work, pay taxes, and die. We don't live for that. We ain't doing that for that. And I'm over that lifestyle, man. So, like I said, man, look. First and foremost, I want to I appreciate everybody for taking the time to watch. Secondly, like I said, man, leave your comments. Let me know if you have questions, anything you might want to see in a future video, questions you might have that I didn't answer, that you might want some more information on. Even if you got conflicting information and you want to debate with me, hey, I'm cool with that too, man. I love the debate. I love the talk. Hey, it'll never be negative, man. I love everybody. So, man, I want to see everybody do well, even the people that oppress us. So, man, I'm a very forgiving soul, a very forgiving spirit, man. And I want us all to be able to live freely and peacefully, man. That's my #1 goal here. So, like I said, man, black people, man, let's wake up. Let's start doing our own research. Let's be better informed and make better opinions, man. So, hey, this your boy VG07 TV. I'm out, man. Peace. Be easy. Love y'all.